All right, so my wife asked me this morning, I was walking out of the house, and she said, hey, why are you taking your paddle? You're not playing in this, you're just watching. And I said to her, I said, listen, does Harry Potter leave without his wand? No. All right, everyone, it's time to wake up. This is the Sunday Dinking Club, and I am downtown Logan Brown. Today is actually Saturday. I'm taking you back in time, but all the news is relevant for you today on Sunday. I'm here at the PPA North Carolina Open in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is about 2 hours from where I live in Greenville, South Carolina, so I had to make it up. Let's get into what's going on here and take you through the tournament news and what's happening in pickleball this week. All right, update. I made it, kinda. I had to park like a half mile away, but I figured while I walk, I update you guys on where we stand. So it's Saturday. Thursday we had the men's and women's singles. So Tyson and Fed are playing in the finals on Sunday. We have Annalie Waters and Leah Jansen playing women's singles. Yesterday was mixed, pretty big day. Newman Jones had a big day. They were playing lights out. See how this translates to Sunday. But I will say that Annalie Waters and Jack Sock are also looking really good. Come back to them in a second. And today is men's and women's doubles. So there's been a lot of talk about Jack Sock and how good he is. And I just want to put some things in context. So I'm like a high school tennis player. I've loved tennis for a while, long time, I guess. And I think people need to understand like how hard it is to become a pro tennis player and like how much of an athlete you have to be to get to that level. And right now there's a lot of fantastic, great pro pickleball players. A lot of these folks though were former college tennis players, okay? Now there's only a handful of college tennis players that ever make it to pro tennis. Like the best right now that are on tour, you can think of like Mackie McDonald and you can think of Taylor Fritz. Out of that, you don't go pro. So the fact that there's Jack Sock here, who's a pro tennis player, he has some of the best hand skills. He's quick, he's fast. If you watch a pro tennis player hit a forehand, it's insane compared to an amateur, the way they rip through the ball. And not to mention, Zane Navratil mentioned on his podcast or a video recently that one of the biggest factors between an amateur pickleball player and a pro pickleball player, and even the best pro pickleball players, is their hand speed. So hold on, I'm gonna turn around and show you guys. There's our duper ball, our Dura ball way out there. So Zane mentions that hand speed in these hand battles will make the difference. I want everybody to look up a pro tennis serve on YouTube from the court view. A pro tennis serve is hit at like upwards of 130 miles per hour. I think the fastest ones on tour, if you think of like Nick Kyrgios, I think he can rip it at 140. It is lightning fast. I want somebody to do the math here, like somebody actually look up the reaction speed between a pro tennis serve return and a speed up in pickleball. But when you think about Jack Sock and what he's doing out here, and the pros are like, oh my gosh, this guy is, or even the amateurs, folks on Twitter are saying this guy's next level. This is like maybe showing us what the future of pickleball could look like, just how good this guy is, just playing somewhat casually and coming out here and tearing it up. But if you think about the hand speed, the control, the things you bring from tennis to pickleball, and just being able to pick up on the speed ups at the net, I think if you can return 140 mile per hour serve, you can handle the speed ups at the net. But then again, I haven't even seen this live, so I'm about to roll up in here and I'll show you guys what's up. And then I'm excited to see these pros play in person. All right, so I'm taking a little bit of a break from the madness inside. Tournament atmosphere is awesome. The pros are super accessible. I literally ran into Matt Wright first, then coming down the stairs, I ran into Deckel Barr, Callan Dawson. Pretty sure I touched Jack Sock's shoulder, you know. It's awesome. Like right now the sport's in a place where everybody's just kind of like hanging out, it feels like. Of course the pros like have their own dedicated space, and it seems like they're kind of hanging out in the VIP area as well. Try not to heckle people, but I'd like to say hi, so here I am. But hopping into a little bit of news, just to keep you guys up to date on what's going on in the pickleball world. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina. a local who I actually spoke to earlier, just told him I thought he was playing great. Jake Kuzmiter, he's from Charleston, South Carolina, and beat Jack Sock on Thursday in singles, which was amazing. The Tyson and Jack Sock match this morning was the first match I got to see. It might have been just like the first match of the day on championship court. Unfortunately, they lost. And honestly, just looked like they came out a little cold. The third shot drives were not falling for them. They were either hitting the net or they were bouncing right back. Jack rips a drive. And these guys were putting it right back at him. And then these guys were dinking to the middle, and it seemed like it was causing some confusion with Jack and Tyson. So I wish I would have been able to see them go longer today. That would have been great, but it's not on the cards. We got some great players that are coming down the pipeline, though. I just passed Zane. He's playing. Pablo Tejas is playing against him. I saw Deckel and Callan win, which is fantastic. James won. So lots of good pickleball coming. Jay DeVilliers and DJ Young just won. So lots of good pickleball. Of course, you're hearing this early in the day. I'm going to keep this on the pod, but we never know how the day is going to shake out, so just know that I'm here like first round. This is what's going on, so I'm bringing it to you as I get it. Now, other news, MLP is coming back on June 15th. Cannot wait. It's going to be in San Clemente, California, which means later matches in the day for me. That's great. It means the kid's going to go down to sleep and I get to watch in the afternoon. So mainly the biggest news coming out of the MLP right now with this shuffle draft is Matt Wright and DJ Young being traded between the Milwaukee Mashers and the Frisco Clean Cause. And Ben Newell in the Challenger League is put on waivers. So we'll see who picks him up. He's a great player. I'm sure someone will snag him. But there are like 85 players that hit the shuffle draft list, meaning they were just eligible to be picked up. A lot of those players were in there. They're under 5.0. I'm not sure if they're really going to get picked up based on their Duper rating. But I appreciate all these guys like jumping in. I think that there's a lot of room for even a league below Challenger. We have minor league, which is great. There's a lot of good stuff in the works here. In other big news, the PPA about a week ago came out and said they inked a deal with CBS for some television coverage, which was amazing. Then yesterday they dropped the bomb on us that they are inking a deal with ESPN. So today's Saturday, but when you're listening to this, it's Sunday. So you can catch, as long as it's before 6, you can catch the finals of the mixed doubles on ESPN2 at 6 p.m. And then again on June 4th, they're going to be airing the Selkirk, Texas Open on ESPN. Going to be huge. Can't wait to see it on the worldwide leader of sports. Maybe it's the worldwide leader in sports. I don't know. Hopefully this trumps all the layoff news going on at ESPN. And maybe with more pickleball, maybe they can hire some folks like me to commentate on it. What do you guys think? All right, so another like national news, pickleball getting some publicity in places where we wouldn't expect it. Earlier this week, the Denver Nuggets head coach Michael Malone came on the court for their playoff game with a pretty serious cut on the guy's forehead. So of course the commentators or announcers are asking about this, trying to figure out like, what was this guy getting into? Was this some brawl after the game? Did his wife throw something at his head? Who knows? Turns out the guy is a pickleballer, okay? So we got pickleball being talked about on TNT for NBA playoffs, guys. Millions of viewers. And it turns out that him and his partner go up for a 50-50 ball, and he ends up taking a paddle to the forehead, straight to the dome. So that hurts. Never had that happen before, but I could see my dad doing that for sure. And then Charles Barkley decides to commentate on this at the halftime report, saying pickleball is for old people. Is this guy even old enough to play? I'll tell you what, Charles, maybe you should come to a PPA tournament or MLP just to see what the youngins are doing, my friend. A couple of things that we got to note here. It's my first pro pickleball tournament coming to watch. I actually bumped into some guys from Greenville, so shout out to you for being here and playing. You guys are awesome. But talking about the pros for a second, like what really sets these guys apart from what you see on your pickleball court. Speed is one thing for sure. I will say that out of all the pros I saw this weekend, Deckel Barr is definitely ripping his serve harder than anybody else. Everyone else is hitting solid serves, but I'm not seeing anybody really go all out for them. Maybe Tyson and Deckel, and I would say that Jack Sock's serve looked pretty big. Other than that, like I've seen 4.5s and 5.0s serve at a similar pace, is what I'm getting at. The drives are big. The drives are big, they're fast, and they fly right over the top of the net. I mean, the accuracy is amazing, and that's probably one of the biggest things. They're not really missing dinks. They're doing their best to place dinks in positions that put them in great spots for the speed up or great spots for the Ernie. or the ATP, these things, they're really just trying to get these guys on their back foot. You know, they're playing offense there with their dinks, where I think in amateur pickleball, especially at my level, like at 3-5, we're just trying to get the ball back, and typically if you get the ball back enough times, there's going to be a mistake made. So that's big. The biggest difference here, I can't coach this, I don't know. Go find somebody who can show you how to do this. But it amazes me how the pros can maneuver the ball on extremely fast drives and speed ups. These balls are just flying at their chest, and they somehow can reset it. Or a drive will come at them and they'll drop it in the kitchen. Or a drive will come at them and they'll push it back to the baseline again. I'm lucky just to put a paddle on this thing, guys. So that's my news and little hot take from the pro pickleball scene. I will say there's another, if you live close to me, if for some reason you're watching this and you happen to be living in the Carolinas or Georgia, the Pro Pickleball Association is having another tournament in Atlanta towards the end of May, very end of May. And then they're going to Texas, and they're probably going to be out west, so you're not going to be able to catch them. And then MLP is coming to Atlanta the end of June. So you got a couple of chances here locally, if you're local and watching me or listening to me, to go see them. This is like a really fun experience. I mean, I'm telling you, these pros are just walking around. It's kind of cool to see them. It feels like if you're really into the sport, it's like seeing celebrities just walk right past you, and it's no big deal. And then you can sit on championship court and you're 5 feet from them. I mean, I was just sitting front row like I'm at a Lakers game watching Tyson McGuffin and James Ignatowicz play, and like these guys are like my favorite players that I watch on TV, and woo, they're right here. So get out here, experience it. It's a lot of fun. And by the way, Lifetime, this place, Lifetime Fitness, this is a dream come true. I would literally spend every single day here. There's like, let me show you this. There's a bar and a pool and palm trees. I feel like I'm at the beach, but I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. Like, this is amazing. I want one of these in Greenville. Please come to Greenville, or maybe my wife will move here with me. This is amazing. So, guys, come out, experience it. It's great. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Please subscribe to the newsletter. Please subscribe to the podcast and on YouTube. Don't forget, today, Pro Pickleball Championship Sunday. This is why we're called the Sunday Dinking Club, people, because only champions dink on Sunday. All day long, starting at 10 a.m. with the championship of the mixed doubles going live on ESPN 2 at 6 p.m. Watch it, cheer for it, promote it, share it. Thank you for being a part of the community, and I'll see you on the court.